The hydrogen proposition. A broad overview of using hydrogen as a replacement for fossil fuels in transportation in a global context utilizing new and emerging technologies. Imagine filling up your car with hydrogen instead of petrol or diesel and driving off into the sunset in your electric fuel cell or combustion engine vehicle, such as a Toyota Mirai or even a converted hydrogen combustion engine car such as a Toyota Prius currently under development by Toyota. This is incredible news for the future of clean energy transportation technologies around the world. It is also incredible news for clean energy production in general terms also. This current technological development by Toyota could possibly revolutionize global energy transportation and production in ways not seen since the emergence of the Industrial Revolution. Combustion engine specific. The compressed hydrogen gas produced at facilities that are under development with national infrastructure projects such as HyNet could provide the infrastructure needed for combustion engines of retrofitted cars and production cars using remapped gas jets suited to each engine's individual characteristics. The combustion engine's electrical components, gearing, and everything else is preserved as normal. Conclusion. These proven technologies for this type of retrofitting conversion of combustion engines are currently not available in production, but it seems will be in the not too distant future. These technologies, combined with the adaptation and development of possible new hydrogen fuel production and power generation units such as the renewable stations and infrastructures being planned by projects such as HyNet, in theory make it possible to run combustion engines and hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles on clean and fully sustainable fuel. Toyota and others manufacturers could adapt and develop hydrogen gas production units and storage technologies for the much beloved combustion engine. Obviously, components would need to be adapted to suit differing vehicle types across the industries, but I believe the sky could now be the limit. Applications and possibilities of the possible concepts and technologies. Number 1. The automotive industry, including classic cars. My dream would be a prototype converted Audi TT Classic. Number 2. The aeromotive industry, replacing aviation fuel for both propeller-driven planes and jet engines. Similarities between hydrogen gas turbines in production and jet engines, which are basically turbines in essence, means that developments in hydrogen fuel combustion may also be possibilities for the technology perhaps in the distant future. Number 3. The military, allowing for reuse and preservation of the existing vehicular infrastructure, for example, the possibility of hydrogen conversion of Jeeps, Land Rovers, Humvees, etc. Number 4. Military and civilian combustion-driven backup power supply generators, on-site and in the field. Number 5. The shipping industry, large-scale diesel engine capacity. Why don't we just run internal combustion engines on hydrogen? The hydrogen fuel cell alternative and full sustainability. It seems there is a problem with running combustion engines on hydrogen in that the emissions created include nitrogen oxides. This is not to say that a combustion engine couldn't theoretically run on hydrogen, just that small amounts of nitrogen oxide would be produced. Although technology does exist to significantly reduce these small amounts of NOx gases through techniques such as exhaust gas recirculation, which it is claimed can reduce these emissions to 1 part per million. It is also interesting to note here that there seems to be some level of debate within the scientific community as to whether nitrogen oxide emissions can actually harm our ozone layer, or indeed possibly it is said by some that it may play a role in the actual creation of it. I happen to believe it would aid in the creation of the ozone layer in the atmosphere. One of the most important advantages of hydrogen as a fuel for internal combustion engines is that hydrogen engines emit, by far, much fewer pollutants than comparable gasoline engines. Basically, the only products of hydrogen combustion in air are water vapor and very small amounts of nitrogen oxides. Hydrogen has a wide flammability range in air, 5 to 75% vol, and therefore high excess air can be utilized more effectively. The formation of nitrogen oxides in hydrogen air combustion can be minimized with excess air. NOx emissions can also be lowered by cooling the combustion environment using techniques such as water injection, exhaust gas recirculation, or using liquid hydrogen. The emissions of NOx in hydrogen engines are typically 1 order of magnitude smaller than emissions from comparable gasoline engines. Small amounts of unburned hydrocarbons, CO2, and CO have been detected in hydrogen engines, but only due to lubrication oil. Perhaps this could be further reduced by using fully synthetic oils. Efficiency? In cars, such as the Toyota Mirai hydrogen fuel cell range, hydrogen fuel cell technologies split ions in hydrogen gas to create electricity in the car, which drives the internal drivetrain of the electric motors of the cars more efficiently than a hydrogen-converted combustion engine. However, the point here is not necessarily just the fact that hydrogen fuel cells and battery-powered electric vehicles are more efficient than combustion engines. It has more to do with being able to preserve the technology and its associated manufacturing infrastructure in a clean energy way, alongside the future development of the hydrogen fuel cell technologies in battery-powered vehicles such as the Tesla range of cars and widely available choice of models from many companies on the market today. I would argue that you cannot simply just defunct proven technologies. You cannot simply unmake something. And if we look to our past, even technologies such as the steam train are preserved and operating in some capacity now, usually fueled by cleaner wood-burning boilers, for example. There is also an aesthetic perspective to running combustion engines on hydrogen in that the cars would require manual gearing in most cases, and the fact that combustion engines running on hydrogen emit a pleasurable sensation of noise and vibration which is very amenable to many car enthusiasts of our time. Preserving and adapting this old technology and its associated infrastructures to clean energy, I would say, is also a very important factor when considering the economic and industrial implications of emerging and third-world economies and communities, enabling a smoother transition and preservation of technologies and skills in poorer countries around the world. This, I would say, is very important to consider when thinking about the economic impact and industrial workforce implications on poorer economies and communities such as third-world countries. The hydrogen fuel cell was invented by Welsh physicist Sir William Robert Grove in 1839. This proven technology of hydrogen fuel cells is used in the Toyota Mirai hydrogen fuel cell electric car range and is based directly on his design. The hydrogen gas fuel used to run these hydrogen fuel cell cars, such as the Toyota Mirai, is produced, at present, either at an industrial electrolysis facility and tankered into pumps at filling stations, or in some cases produced in smaller production units on site or at a hydrogen filling pump station. The car is then fueled at the station with the compressed hydrogen to power the car. Yikes, what will happen to all our water? Yes, if you water split, you destroy water to make hydrogen and oxygen. But when you use hydrogen in a fuel cell, it is mixed with air, and you make water all over again. So, it's a renewable cycle, and we won't run out of water by water splitting to feed hydrogen fuel cells. Also, when you burn hydrogen in air, this reaction also produces water. Practical applications for this would be, for example, military, where full sustainability wouldn't require fuel supply lines to be in place in the field, also allowing for theoretically unlimited range. For future manufacture, jet engine combustion or hydrogen fuel cell. Future distant technologies, Siemens Group is fully committed to running its gas turbines on hydrogen by 2030, being 100% functional by then and currently running at around 20%. As gas turbines are basically a similar design to jet turbine engines, one would think it may be possible to run these jets engines on hydrogen fuel in the distant technological future. In conclusion, a happy ending. Currently, hydrogen infrastructure projects are underway in the UK, such as the Northwest's HyNet project, which aims to produce hydrogen for the UK using the steam reformation process initially rather than electrolysis. This process inherently produces carbon dioxide as a byproduct. However, food and drinks industries require large amounts of this for storage and packaging. HyNet's answer is to pipe the carbon dioxide gas into offshore empty salt caverns for easy access to the industry in the future. One of the other main aims of the project is to start utilizing the domestic polypropylene gas pipeline networks for increased blending of hydrogen and natural gas, with a long-term aim of powering our heating and cooking domestic needs as a country, with manufacturers such as Worcester Bosch currently developing compatible cooking and heating appliances. After further research, it transpires that the breakthrough in clean energy production using Levo's metal hydride alloy storage and production systems now could open the doors wide open for the future long-term implementation of affordable, renewable and simple-to-use clean energy production of hydrogen for the future long-term benefit of humanity and the planet. Also, with the breakthroughs in prototype developments such as the OakTech Pulsar engine technologies, combined with the current production status of the hydrogen fuel cell transportation systems, green hydrogen seems to have a real and viable future with humanity and planet Earth, our one and only home. This brings to a close this research paper and its findings in a wonderful way, with the sure and safe knowledge that all is not lost for the continuation and development of green, fully sustainable hydrogen technologies, and of the much beloved combustion engine throughout the world. This, I believe, is the happy ending everybody around the world has been hoping and praying for a long time. Good news to hear indeed. My final thoughts. The last point I will put forward, pertaining to my research, would be only this: that technology companies around the world look to technologize and develop hydrogen combustion engines. This, I believe, would bring the entire automotive side of the hydrogen research debate and technological advancement to conclusion in a beautiful way, enabling humanity to move forward now in vast leaps and bounds in a fully sustainable manner, with the ability to look forward to the reality, however distant, of hydrogen-driven technologies, not only across the automotive industries, but also into the future. With the Siemens Group, hydrogen-powered gas turbine technology, renewable-based hydrogen gas electricity power stations, utilizing hydrogen gas production on an industrial scale are now theoretically possible, as with the company ThyssenKrupp's industrial water electrolysis technologies and hydrogen production and storage facilities, which one would assume in the future could possibly be adapted to include Levo's metal hydride technologies. Both these companies' technology is fully sustainable, running on 100% renewable power sources. So in the future, these technologies could possibly prove vastly more efficient and cost-effective than ever before. On a final note, I would look to the future of the aviation industry's jet propulsion and possible combustion engine conversion kits, space travel with companies designing hydrogen space travel systems such as Blue Origin and the SLS Artemis program, and more incredible and exciting distant future possibilities for power generation following on from Siemens hydrogen gas turbines being 100% capable by 2030 for green electrical power generation around the world. The distinct distant future possibilities of hydrogen fuel-based systems, even to the point of inclusion of on-board hydrogen production units similar to those possibilities outlined previously, are incredible to think about. However, it is likely that in the main the aeromotive and automotive industries may adopt a hydrogen fuel cell and battery power development route initially as a route to combining technologies and developing the hydrogen combustion engine technologies, as has already been proven by the maiden flight of a hydrogen fuel cell-powered small passenger plane by the company ZeroAvia in September 2020. Utilizing hydrogen fuel, and I believe the possibility of running propeller engines on hydrogen also is a distinct possibility. All in all, the mind boggles at the distinct current and future developments and advancements of these technologies, ushering in humanity into a beautiful new dawn of hydrogen energy where we will all hopefully be at one with nature and the planet once again in the not-too-distant future. And that, as far as I can see, is the end of the road for my research and thinking. God bless the planet, friends, family, love, and life. I believe we are all now being reborn into the new age of green hydrogen and electric and the much-loved hydrogen combustion engine. Respectfully, John Evans.